my own college. Welcome to Sports Unfiltered on the radio. I'm your host, Jake Demisa.
And I'm your lesser host, Joseph Sorrentino.
If you want to call yourself that, that's just great. But second time around the radio this year, clearly we are beyond the game.
All right, let's get right into sports because, we don't need to start any drama today. Because if somebody listens to this, I think he's going to be a little bit upset about what you just said. So, we'll start off with the NHL. It's going to be a great season. It starts Wednesday, I believe. And, we got a lot of young talent in the game that is blooming, blossoming, becoming great.
Of course, that's led by picks like Noah Hischler.
It's Hischer.
We're never going to get the name right.
It's Hischer.
I'm telling you it's Hischler.
There's no L in his name.
Either way,
it's
led
Hischer.
by people like...
You're embarrassing yourself.
No, it's Hischler.
It's Hischer.
Led by people like that, Nolan Patrick, Austin Matthews, Patrick Laine, Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel. The young players in the game the last 3 years have really changed the way the sport's been played.
Absolutely.
And the moves they're making, the deeks, they're changing the way the goaltenders play. Yeah, the deeks. They're called deeks.
The deeks. I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
hockey is just...
It's a new generation of sports.
It is.
It's Gen X, So, all right, we're going to start off with a Calder Trophy.
Well, you didn't even say what we're doing.
Well, we're going to go... Oh, I apologize.
My favorite moment of the year for Sports Unfiltered are NHL predictions.
NHL predictions for
obviously,
awards.
It never goes well for us.
No, it doesn't. We have a history of being bad for quite some time now. So basically, we're on the same track record.
Yeah, trying to change that this year,
as
obviously.
Matthew Berry with fantasy football predictions.
But 2 years ago, I did pick the Nashville Predators to make the Cup. I was a year late on that.
Yeah, you were.
But still, no one expected it at all.
Yeah, you were. And I picked the Kings, and
they've really fallen apart since then, haven't they?
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Not at all. Alec Martinez, welcome to my fantasy team, but I hate you. Okay, so... Let's start off with the Calder, because we're going to do predictions for each award, then we're going to do, surprise to make playoffs, surprise to miss, all that stuff. So
I'll let you start each prediction, because this goes last, obviously.
Okay,
yep.
Oh, shut up. All right, so Calder, I told Jake who I picked. It's Hischer. And
well, before you say anything, that's something new about this year also. We don't know who we picked.
Oh, yeah. This is the only one that I told Jake.
We usually tell each other before time. We set it up. No, we have no idea who we picked.
Yeah.
There'll be arguments on
here.
But
he's gonna be sad to find out that I sort of lied to him because I told him I picked Nolan Patrick, but joke's on him. I picked Hischer, Nico Hischer, right?
Oh yeah, it's Nico, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So
the guy should never went number one. So he doesn't deserve his name pronounced right.
All right. Oh my God. All right. So today was just in the bashing mood, according to Jake. So I picked him because obviously he's the first pick overall. First picks tend to be great in the NHL. Very rarely do they fall flat on their face.
Neil Yakupov.
And there's one. But I think he's going to be great for, just for the Devils. I think he's going to be great.
Well, he should be playing with probably Palmieri and Hull to start out with if they let him center. I'm not sure if they put him on the wing.
They might start him on the wing.
If they start him on the wing, then he's going to fall away at third line, so that's going to hurt your prediction right there.
Yeah, but that
he might play like Brian Boyle.
But he's very But he's very creative. So I think he finds his way on to the to maybe even the first line. Hopefully the first line.
If they let him center, he's going to be special. I'll give you that because I do see Hischler being good.
You see that more and more commonly now that
guys move from wing to center.
Yeah, or center to wing. It's becoming more and more common with rookies. I wonder why.
Because they're more skilled than they used to be. Like, they're taught at a young age to play multiple positions, so when they get to the NHL, they're able to just move around.
Yeah, but then you look at it in the sense that they've played center their whole life, prospectively, and when they come up to the NHL, the wing is completely different than center, both in the NHL and in,
I think it's much harder to move from wing to center
because you got
to learn face-offs.
Yeah, face-offs.
And you got to learn how to control the center of the ice. That's a big thing, too.
That's probably a big thing on why they move them over as well, because face-offs. We don't know how good they are at face-offs. I mean, we can only take a guess with how they played in either college or in a foreign league. So.
And it's not only face-offs. Most defenses play kind of the triangle, which leaves the center in the middle, so they have to learn to go from wing to wing, also watch the defense in the back end. Yeah. It's the hard position to play. I don't think wing's an easier position. I don't think anyone's denying that.
Yeah.
And moving wing to wing, maybe you got to learn to take different shots, but it's not as drastic as putting a wing at center.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't know if Hischler is going to do that this year.
Yeah.
maybe over the off season.
Yeah, and that's why we see people like, how old is Matt Cullen?
Matt Cullen's like 36.
Yeah, he's older than that. He's got to be older than that. But like, you look at him and you're like, Jesus, wow, well, he's in the NHL mainly because he could win faceoffs. So, continue.
All right, my Calder prediction. You know, I always have to have one Islander prediction on here, but I think this one, it's pretty simple. This Calder class is not as good as people are cracking it up to be. I don't think this draft class is all that good. I feel like Hischler, Nolan Patrick, they're not what we've seen the last couple of years with McDavid, with Austin Matthews, with the Taylor Halls and Nathan McKinnons. I don't think they're those type of players. Mm-hmm. I feel like Nolan Patrick is a great physical player, a great power forward in the NHL, but he's not going to be someone who changes a franchise.
Yeah.
And Hischler, he's a wild card. I don't know much about him.
All right. To put this to rest here, we got to look up how the hell to spell this guy's name. So continue what you're saying. I'm sorry to interrupt, but if we don't find out how to spell this guy's name, we're going to go crazy.
Well, anyway, I'm going to go with my prediction, Matthew Barzal. A lot of people thought I'd probably go Hosang because Josh Hosang's my favorite player.
Ew.
But Matthew Barzal is going to get a top 6 role. He's going to be playing with Hosang and Ladd. And if they let him play with Hosang and Ladd instead of like the softest player in the league, Brock Nelson, and Josh Bailey, he's going to be able to create for those players. We saw him score. I know it's preseason talent is a mix of rookies and actual NHLers, but you put him in between a skilled player like Hosang, and you put him next to a power forward like Ladd, he's going to get his chances.
You really think that this is going to happen? You are confident?
I really do think Matthew because he fell in the draft. He fell at 13 a couple years ago because of a knee injury.
Yeah.
He was a top 5 talent in that draft.
Yeah.
He is probably a better talent than anyone that got drafted this year, and he's still considered a rookie.
Yeah, and then you look at the Rangers draft strategy where they drafted a top 20 prospect hoping that he could, not even top 20, top 30 prospect, hoping that he could be the top 10 guy.
But I have a stat for you right here.
Yeah.
That I used to WHL. I know it's a smaller league, but if you look at this list of players that's on this, it has to mean something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the top 5 people, assists per game in the WHL, you have Joe Sakic, number 1. Matthew Barzal is number 2 on this list, averaging over an assist per game at 1.06. After him, Mark Recchi, who made the Hall of Fame this year in 2017.
Wait, I have a question.
Mike Modano and Brian Trottier.
I have a question.
4 Hall of Famers and Matthew Barzal.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How many games did he play?
How many games?
Yeah.
These are people all over 150 games played in the WHL.
Oh, okay.
And they're all Hall of Famers.
Huh?
So that's 2 years of time. And Matthew Barzal last year led the Seattle Thunderbirds to a championship.
Yeah.
So I get it's a small league, but it has a lot of draft talent in it.
Yeah.
And if you can perform in that league at that level, you can come into the NHL and maybe have a 50 to 60 point season this year.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you're the Calder.
That's true, but we're gonna settle this once and for all. I don't know if the listeners are gonna be able to hear it.
Man, you just can't get over this
Nico
Hischler.
Heischer.
It's Heischer.
Heischer.
Nico. I was right. Exactly. Where's there an L in his name?
Who's this guy?
I don't know, but
it's like Andrea Nunez on Names with Nunez.
Oh my God! All right,
dropping a lot of names today.
Jesus. All right, Vezina. God. Vezina. There's gonna be. I believe he had health problems last year. Pretty much every goalie in the league had health problems last year. But everybody's like, oh, that Holtby guy, he's pretty great, right? Carey Price, we have not spoken about him enough. He's still the best goalie in the league, talent-wise. I'm sorry, Braden Holtby. I'm sorry. But
Sergey.
All right. But Carey Price, Montreal's defense is a lot, I hate to say this about PK Subban, but it's a lot rounder without PK Subban.
Well, Weber's more of a defensive guy.
Yeah, he's a defensive defenseman.
Block shots. PK was more of an offensive presence.
Yeah, and when you have a good defense in front of you, obviously Montreal has been in a state of flux for the past couple of years. They're not, they do great, and then they hit slumps, and you look at them and you're like, wow, this might be one of the best teams in hockey. It's a conundrum, but I think that Carey Price is going to be Carey Price next year. If he stays healthy, he's going to be the best goalie in the league.
I could see that, especially since Montreal's going to be a little better this year. They got Jonathan Drouin on the offense.
Yeah.
Galchenyuk's supposed to break out.
He's supposed to break out for.
Well, now you put him with Drouin, who's a really skilled forward. Maybe that line can get going. Hopefully. If they start scoring goals, it'll help Carey Price. The team can't score. They haven't been able to score for years. They're a good team because of their goaltender. They're a good team because they've had a decent defense with Markov. I know Markov's gone now, but he's been good for them. But Carey Price, is the best goalie in the league. Yeah. It's just they're not going to get enough wins for him to win the Vezina.
I mean, do wins really matter though if you have a 1.5 goals against average?
If you have a 1.5, no, but he's not going to have a 1.5.
No, he's not. But like he's going to be real close to like a 1.7. I think he's going to be that good. He's impossible to figure out, and he's great when he's healthy. So who's your pick? I think we already know, but
who do you think it is?
Bobrovsky.
It's not Sergei. He won it last year. I don't do that. I like picking goalies who've never won the award before.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, most of my picks have never won the award before. Give you that.
All right.
Anyway.
Obviously, he's Shire.
This is going to matter because we just made a trade in fantasy hockey.
We did.
I picked up Eric Carl from the trade.
Yeah.
You picked up Ryan Getzlaff.
Yes, I did.
I picked up Nolan Patrick. You picked up some nice players to go along with it. You picked up
Dubnyk? Is that who you picked?
Dubnyk.
Wow.
Devin Dubnyk. Dubnyk, I know. Devin Dubnyk is going to win the Vezina Trophy this year. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say that I just traded him away. But the thing about Devin Dubnyk is, if we only played one half of hockey last year, he won the Vezina. He was incredible for Minnesota. He had them leading the Central, and then all of a sudden, second half, he collapsed.
The team fell apart.
But he, for the most part, fell apart. He couldn't stop anything.
Yeah, but you have a team that sort of, at the end of the year, they made trades, and those trades didn't even pan out.
No, not at all.
So,
but the thing is, with Dubnyk, I see him having a full year this year. I see him finding a way to keep it going in the second half. I mean, guys like him and Ben Bishop, they're 6'6" monsters. They fatigue easier.
It's like, and then you got like somebody that's also huge, Robin Leonard.
I picked him last year.
Yeah, and
I love goalies, obviously.
Yeah, I traded him to you because you involved Dubnyk, and it's like.
Well, I just want to talk about the trade for Dubnyk. Robin Leonard's getting dropped right when
I know, but Robin Leonard's a huge guy. I mean, huge goalies tend to do well in the NHL because they take up most of the net.
But huge goalies that can keep it going for a full year. Patrick Roy was one of those guys. Patrick Roy was 6'4". Yeah. Nobody realizes that. If you can keep it going a whole year, you're going to rack up the Vezinas.
Yeah, and like there's certain goalies that like I get a little bit confused with. There's certain small goalies, like isn't Vasilevsky small?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's good.
He's good. He's got skill, but there's certain things that like you have an advantage. If this is an obvious statement, as I said before, but the bigger guys tend to do better in net. That's just they take up more net.
And the thing about that Minnesota defense is you have an elite player, Ryan Suter, who's always going to help. Obviously.
Yeah.
You got young guys like Jared Spurgeon, Matthew Dumba, and Jonas Brodin. But the thing about that defense, I really like the addition of Kyle Quincy because Kyle Quincy is a proven Stanley Cup winner. He goes down to block shots. He's almost like a poor man's Calvin DeHaan at this point of his career. Mm-hmm. But that's really going to help Dubnyk because he's going to have to face less shots per game with the 3 or 4 blocks Quincy's going to get. Quincy is like a really, really great player that no one talks about. Maybe he doesn't bring it in the offensive side of the puck. Maybe he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's willing to put his body on the line, and that's going to help Dubnyk a lot.
Yeah. So we got Dubnyk and Price. My pick's Price. Jake's pick is Dubnyk. So we'll move on to what we believe is the breakout player of the year. So I'm going to let you start this one because I want to sort of go out on a tangent with mine. So go ahead.
Well, I guess we'll go right back to this breakout player of the year. I'm going to pick another goalie.
Is it Vasilevsky?
No, he already broke out.
Oh, all right. Who?
No, it's a guy who's been a backup his whole entire career. And I think you're actually.
I'm gonna love this.
I think you're gonna love the pick. I think you're actually gonna defend the pick.
I think I might defend the pick.
You actually have the team on your computer right now. I see, which means your breakout.
I'm not gonna defend the pick. Wow, I thought you were going with the former Chicago.
I am going with the former Chicago Blackhawk goalie, Scott Darling.
Okay.
Scott Darling, whenever he came in for Corey Crawford, when he was sick, when he was hurt, when he just didn't feel like playing, Scott Darling was incredible.
He was.
And when he still had to start, he wasn't good. And why was he not good? Because he wasn't used to starting. He's had a whole preseason, a whole offseason to prepare to be the Carolina Hurricanes starting goaltender.
And he's not a young man either.
He's not a young man.
He can be a breakout player.
He's a guy that I think could finish in the top 5 this year in the Vezina Trophy ratings.
I think that sounds crazy, even though he's on my second favorite team.
I don't think it sounds crazy, but
I hope so. I really hope so.
I really think Scott Darling, this point of his career, I'd love to see him break out. I think he's really skilled, and I like their defense.
Oh my God! Breaking news. Gotta cut you off there, but Jaromir Jagr is a Calgary Flame.
Wow.
Wowza.
Big news, actually.
Wowza. 45-year-old.
Alright, so I'm changing my breakout player.
Yeah, okay. Breakout after. But he signs with the Calgary Flames. The money detail is obviously not there, but that helps the Flames.
And it's good for Yager, too. I'm glad he gets to play this year. I didn't want him to have to sit out. He's 45 years old. He doesn't want to stop playing.
Yeah, he's steadfast about not retiring.
He wants to play till 50.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great signing.
It's a great signing for the Flames, but it's more of a great sign to see Yager in the league.
Yeah.
It's a great signing for the NHL.
I don't think he's going to be I think he might be a bottom six forward, but
it doesn't matter where he plays. At least he gets to play. Now I just want to see Jerome McGinley get signed and NHL's more right.
Jerome McGinley's done.
He wants to play, though. I want to see him.
But he's not going back to the Kings. The Kings are trying to cause a revolution there, but...
I mean, I get the Flames to sign Yager, but that would be a great reunion to have McGinley go back to Calgary.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't know if you go, like, that old. That's old. You got two really old guys. I guess veteran leadership, yada yada, but...
Yeah.
We don't know what we're going to get. Well, Calgary wouldn't know what they were going to get from McGinley or Yager.
I mean, how can you?
You can't.
Do you agree with Darling, or?
Yeah. I think Darling might be up there for breakout player of the year, and then you have, I don't know if he's going to be 5 for Vezina, but maybe like 7, 8.
So this just proves breakout player of the year doesn't necessarily have to be a young player.
No, it doesn't, and that's why I'm picking Justin Falk.
That's an easy pick.
No, it is not an easy pick.
Broken out.
No, he really hasn't. Because, I mean, 17 goals, 20 assists for a two-way defenseman. That's pretty good. It's not great. It's pretty good. And he played the most games in his career, I think it was 3 years ago now, or 3 years ago. And he hasn't been in a full season since then. He's been plagued by injuries. He gets a lot of rest for some reason, unless something's nagging him throughout the year. He gets some time off. But I think this year, he's got a team around him. He's got Sebastian Aho there. He's got
Aho's another breakout player.
Yeah.
Carolina's filled with breakout players.
Yeah, and I really like Carolina. They're my second favorite team. I love them, and I think that, I'm admitting my bias here, but I think Falk could be a great breakout player for next year. And then to move on to the Norris Trophy.
Well, you kind of just led me into the Norris Trophy because you said your second favorite team is Carolina. Who's mine? Stop, really?
I don't. Tampa Bay.
Exactly.
Wow, that took me a while.
The Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Norris Trophy is Victor Hedman this year.
What? Oh, you're insane.
I am not insane.
You're insane.
I'll tell you why I'm not insane. Because Victor Hedman...
John Klingberg has a better chance than Victor Hedman.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Victor Hedman finished third in the voting last year.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Third in the Norris Trophy voting last year.
First and second.
Yeah.
Because those are the only two that matter all the time.
Because if you look at Victor Hedman, I get it. Carlson and Burns lead NHL.
Carlson and Burns. Of course they do. They're the best two defensemen in the league, points-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Erik Karlsson's going to be dealing with an injury this year, as we see.
Oh, really? He is?
Yeah.
Well, he's not on my fantasy team anymore.
And Brent Burns had a super year last year, but he's never done it before in his life. It might have been a little fluky.
Oh, you're insane.
Here's the thing.
What do you mean he hasn't done it before in his life? Brent Burns is a huge point getter.
Okay, even if he is. Let's say he has the same year.
All right.
Joe, Burns had 76 points last year.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how many Hedman had? 72.
70. Oh, I thought he had 70.
That's only 4 points off. And this is a guy, Victor Hedman, that 2012 to 2016, excluding 2014 because he was hurt in 2014, he played 59 games.
Yeah.
He has gone up in points every single year. So if that trend continues, Victor Hedman can easily get from 72 to 80 points this year.
Kind of fluky.
Kind of fluky? Hedman?
No, not Hedman. I'm telling you, Brent Burns. You got me stuck on that. Listen. He's got 3 straight years of 60-plus points. He's a monster.
Yeah.
4+ years. And then there's 1 year he played third. Was that the lockout season?
But Hedman's gone from 20 to 55 to 57 to 72.
Okay, I'm not
I
saying
get that's a big jump from 57 to
defenseman.
72, but if you're going up every year, I just expect it to happen again.
But you know what's crazy? Why can't a defenseman will never win the...
Well, the Norris is not for best defenseman, it's for best offensive defenseman.
Best offensive defenseman.
So, yeah.
Okay. I gotcha. So now that my pick is exposed, Brent Burns, you're on my fantasy team again, favoritism. But this is going to shock you. I think there's the same chance. Brent Burns has the same chance to win it as Justin Falk. I am so high on Justin Falk this year. It's obviously it's a bias, but but also. You watch him play, he creates so many plays and gets so unlucky because nobody can do anything on Carolina. You watch Stallberg, you watch all these other players, fill-ins.
But we just said they were filled with breakouts.
Now they are. Last year they weren't. Last year they didn't have the excitement behind the team that they have this year. I could say that with confidence because last year watching them was a chore. I watched them a lot, and last year watching them was a chore. It was terrible. So I think... Honestly, you want me to make a stretch? I'll make a stretch. I think Falk has the same amount of chance to win it as Brent Burns, and I think that Brent Burns has the highest chance to win it. So it's either one of those two, so I guess it's sort of a cop-out.
All right, well, I'm picking Victor Hedman, but if you want me to make a stretch also, I don't have much facts to back it up because I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
But watch out for Oscar Klefbom on Edmonton.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Oscar Klefbom is always hurt, but he had a really nice year last year.
Isn't he young?
He's young. He's like 24, 25.
Yeah, he's 24. So.
But he had a nice year last year. I mean, he had like 40 points. But if you look at the stats, Hedman went from 47 to 72. So, if he did that, Klefbom is kind of the same jump, and Edmonton's obviously got tons of talent with McDavid, with Draisaitl, with Lucic. I mean, the team's set.
Yeah,
Klefbom could be the one factoring with the assist.
But Edmonton's a very offense-heavy team.
And they need one of those defensemen to get involved.
They have the offense control.
They wanted that at one point to be Darnell Nurse, and where the heck did that get them?
Oh, God.
That was a big bust.
Yeah, I mean, he's still young.
Adam Larson for Taylor Hall. They expected Larson to be that guy.
Yeah, no.
Didn't work either.
No.
Klefbom has a chance to step into the role, and I do kind of see it happening.
All right. Well, now that we're talking about Edmonton, and that makes this transition is terrible. I love terrible transitions. Surprised to make the playoffs. You could lead off with that. Well, I think we're both just taking a wild swing at this, aren't we?
I don't think we're taking any wild swing because there's really no surprises.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It's hard.
It's going to be the same thing as last year. I hate to say it, and everybody talks about the NBA being the most drag-on type sport.
It's not going to be the same thing as last year, but there's just the teams that are going to make it, like the Islanders, I think, and Dallas. They're not really surprises. Dallas went out and got Ben Bishop to go with an already amazing offense, decent defense. They fixed their problem. But the year before, they won the Central. So is it really a surprise for Dallas to jump back in the playoffs? And the Islanders, they were 1 point out of the playoffs last year behind Toronto. So are we really going to be surprised if they get back in now that they got Eberle?
Yeah, I mean, the Blue Jackets I think the Blue Jackets will make the playoffs.
I just don't see. Am I supposed to say the Vegas Golden Knights or something?
Yeah, I know. There's just nothing really to talk about.
We usually have a team. This year, I think it's kind of, and if you look at the MLB, all the teams that won the divisions were the teams that were predicted to win at the beginning of the season. Maybe even the wild cards.
Well, we don't listen to those ESPN rankings because those last year were so wrong. I remember we spoke about it on the show last year.
Yeah.
They were so off.
Oh, they're always off.
Crazy.
The only thing...
the guy had the Rangers out of the playoffs.
Besides the Minnesota Twins in baseball, everyone was expected to make it.
Yeah.
Actually, the Yankees weren't really expected to make the jump, but they could have still got a second wild card. Bottom line is, hockey, I feel like, is going to be the same exact thing, where the teams that do make it, that didn't make it last year, there's not really shocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to surprise to miss.
Yeah.
And I got a real woozy here. The Boston Bruins. I think that they're old. Zdeno Chara is literally grasping onto the only part of life he has left, and that's hitting people really hard and taking penalty minutes.
Woozy because if the Islanders are going to make a playoff, someone's got to not make it, and that's Boston.
Yeah.
It's not really a surprise to me.
No, it might be surprising to Boston fans.
You have it up. I want you to read off who made the playoffs last year. Because I'm pretty sure we got Columbus, we got the Rangers, we got the Capitals, we got the Penguins from the Atlantic, and from the Metropolitan, and from the Atlantic we should have Boston, Ottawa, Montreal. Did make it or didn't?
Montreal
did.
Did make it last year.
Yeah.
So we have, okay. Oh wait, Montreal didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't think they made it.
Boy, oh boy, oh Jesus, Christmas, Carey Price, they finished even.
Toronto, forgot about Toronto.
We got,
so yeah, Toronto's going to make it too.
Capital. You know, this is what bothers me. The guy had the Rangers out of the playoffs, okay? Whatever. We got Capitals, Panthers, Penguins.
No, you're wrong. Panthers didn't make it last year. Let's just move on because I basically said them all. Yeah, I basically said them all.
Yeah, wait, what the heck? Sorry, that's my bad.
No, it's all good. But
right, continue.
Basically said it all already. The surprise team that's not going to make the playoffs, it's not going to be out of the East. That's my thing. The East is set. The West.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. The West. How is the West going to get Dallas back in the playoffs? Well, there's one team there, and I know they're not in the same division, but Calgary is going to go get the third seed in the Pacific Division. And Anaheim's going to get number 2. And at number 1, the Edmonton Oilers.
Huh.
But what does that mean?
Wait.
Yeah. Who am I forgetting? Exactly. The San Jose Sharks, the team that did not make the the team that made the Stanley Cup playoffs 2 years ago, is not making the playoffs this year.
They made the Stanley Cup playoffs. What else did they do that year?
No, they made the Stanley Cup. They lost to the Penguins.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, like, they made the Stanley Cup. You said they made the Stanley Cup playoffs. You got to specify that they were in the championship.
Yeah, they were in the championship, and they're not the first team. They're not the first team that 2 years later missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay Lightning, we saw it last year. They played the... Who the heck did they play? Oh, they played the Blackhawks. They lost to the Blackhawks for 5 games. And then they missed the playoffs by 2 points last year.
All right, I'm pretty sure we're boring our fans. Let's just get this over with.
We should.
Hart Trophy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, Connor McDavid. You know, everybody can say, oh, that's so obvious, so obvious. It's Connor McDavid. He's the best player in the NHL. Who do you got?
Austin Matthews.
Oh, okay. Taking a shot at another young guy.
Should I explain it, or should we just move on?
I mean, you know, leave him guessing. Okay, now...
90 points, 50 goals, 40 assists.
Oh, okay. 50 goals, 40 assists. It would be the other way around, if anything.
No, he had 40 goals last year. I see him going up by 10.
Okay.
Second year in the league.
Stanley Cup prediction. This is big news, everyone. So, I think, you know what? Go back to the surprise to make. Carolina Hurricanes. All right, so, Stanley Cup prediction this year. I don't want to sound stupid, so I'm gonna say the Penguins are gonna be in it from the East, because like.
I mean, who's not?
Yeah. I mean, the Penguins are the best team in the East. The Capitals could finish with 9,000 points, and they'd still lose in the second round.
Penguins. We're gonna have a different team from the West, though, probably. So.
Yeah, I honestly, this is gonna sound a little bit oozy-woozy for the West, but I think the Ducks have
The Ducks?
Yeah. Yep, I think they recreate that magic from a couple of years ago. You know, deep Stanley Cup playoff run. I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance for the Ducks. You got Gibson in net. It was his first year last year, right?
Yeah.
As a starter, it's big. It's big for him. He played well last year. They got rid of Frederick Anderson, and now it's. I thought I was right about that, right? Yeah. You looked at me like I was wrong.
You're running out of energy on this segment, I could tell. You're like,
yeah, we're beating this to death.
But this is the last thing we're doing, and this is not being beat to death, because you're going to think I'm crazy, and I'm going to sound stupid. Penguins are making the cup. They're winning the third year in a row. Hallelujah. Great for hockey. Not. But who are they playing? The Dallas Stars. And I'm dead serious on that. Why are they playing the Dallas Stars?
Because of Ben Bishop.
Yes, thank you.
Because they finally have a goalie.
Ben Bishop was an elite goalie 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Both years. Last year he fell off because of injury. Not good. And he was being pushed by Vasilevsky the whole entire year. They didn't want him there.
They didn't.
And when they traded him to the Kings, he was not the starter. Quick was.
I do have a point, though.
What?
That I was going to make. Johnny Oduya is no longer a Dallas Star.
Is that really making a break?
No, that's great for the Dallas Stars.
That is great for the Dallas Stars.
It's also really bad for the Chicago Blackhawks.
The Dallas Stars won the Central Division 2 years ago without a goalie. Now that they have one, they basically have the same pieces. Why can't they make the...
Plus, that offense is unstoppable.
Yeah. It's not a crazy pick. I don't want to hear it's a crazy pick.
Yeah, and their defense is great, too. They have a great deal. Like, Klingberg is young still. You know, Oduya's gone, thank Jesus.
Yeah.
But, like, you have a solid team. I'm knocking Johnny Oduya. I know he's a good defensive defenseman, but you know he's terrible in NHL 16.
Well, I think that's enough hockey for one day. That was a lot. So we're gonna take a commercial break. When we get back, MLB playoffs, NFL talk, and something else at the end that nobody really wants to hear about because it's pretty sad. We'll be back.
If I were a boy.